So I think from tonight's session, what we've got to say is that we talked about the fundamentals and the importance of very, very basic rugby. So catch pass is our key fundamental on how we improve, and if we want to start to develop how we attack in regards to like blockers, screens, switches, etc., it all comes back to our fundamentals. So if we take that now into defence, we discussed that the defensive fundamental is our one-on-one tackles. Now, we spent not that much time so far, but a basic understanding of tackling a bag where we're looking at getting same foot, same shoulder. But the key for me is foot close. We've got to be in an area to be able to make an impact with our shoulder. Otherwise, we make an impact with our hand. So it's more important about working on our footwork and our control and our positioning than it is about actually making the tackle. So what we'll do is we'll have a look through some of these tackles, and what it highlights is that sometimes we actually get a good outcome, but technically we're not right. So for me, it's not just about do you get hold of the person and make the tackle, and there's times in rugby where we need to do that, but are we actually technically right? Because when we come up against bigger, faster, better players, if we're technically right, we're going to have a better outcome anyway. So let's just have a look through these. So if we have a look at this, what you find here is Westie's probably a very good tackler, but see how his body weight is going backwards and away. So he's sat in a position here where if this guy was to now come straight at him, he would fall backwards. So instead of being kind of controlling the weight going forward, he goes in here. The good thing is, okay, he's gone low. He hasn't made an impact with his shoulder. He's made it with his forearm and hand. But from a technical point of view, that shape looks quite good. But if we go back, that's the issue. Look, we've come forward and we've stopped there. So we're kind of in a position where we would actually get sat down because we are on the toilet seat position. Yeah, so we've got to make sure our body weight goes forward. But what we do is, well, as we go low, we work in there, we wrap, and we actually make what looks like a good tackle. But technically, we can improve on that quite a lot. So that brings us into the next one. And see the same every time. So instead of keep going forward, we're dropping and we're waiting. So we're now allowing, okay, this kind of shape. So we're sat back instead of going forward. What's interesting here is we're presented with a threat, a handoff. Good area on this, right into there. From a handoff point of view, something we will look at, that needs to hit right into that shoulder joint. What happens here is we end up getting into a grapple, okay? And yet again, we've made a tackle. The player's gone down, but technically, let's have a look at that again, is our feet are nowhere near where that player is. We've got to get our feet in closer, and by doing that we can actually affect that. We talked about how we get rid of the handoff, and we can use that left arm to chop that down and still hit with that right shoulder. Okay, but good strength in the end to get him down, but technically just some work there to be done. So this is the key, and I see this happens a lot with players, and it looks like from a coach's point of view the player doesn't want to make the tackle. Well, that's absolutely not the case in Tommy's repertoire. Tommy's keen to throw himself in here, but what happens is he sets himself too early. So he comes forward and he stops, so he's now allowing Ben to take the opportunity to go forward, and it's his feet. So keep an eye on his feet and what happens. So instead of moving his feet now to get close, and we've got a big distance. So it doesn't matter how good Ben is, that distance means that we're only making, and we zoom in, we're only making an impact with the hand. So we're never, ever going to make that tackle, all right? And we go on low, and we're going to spin out there. But actually, from this position, once Ben makes the decision here, if we could actually move our feet now to this area, he's going to get absolutely smashed. But it's because we set our feet and we dive, and we're not getting anything in the way. We've got to try and hit with our shoulder where possible. Okay? So this is the same. What we've got here is that from the ball carrier's point of view, he's just going to come straight hard, try and run over your face. Okay, there's no difference there. This is, in my view, the easiest tackle to make in rugby, because you're just going to come long strength at you, and you just need to, but look at the height here. So you stayed high, yeah, and you stepped your feet out the way. So we watch again, look at your feet coming in there. Now we need to get forward. We need to win as we talked about at the end of the session, we need to start dominating this space. We need to be going forward. Well, what we do is we allow a big force, a strong lad, to run at us. So we hold. And then we're all upper body. We are now in a position, okay, where we are nigh on upright in contact. Very, very hard for us to get away. Also, shown another thing, good handoff. And we're not going to make a tackle there. We're trying to grab that hand. Chop under that, bang, big impact, big chop. So the other thing you got to look at here as well, if you can go back in your heads and imagine where all the other contacts can stand. What he's done really well here is you shut down his time and space. You know, now a little bit of good foot movement, okay, but he's square. So ideally we want to try and imagine that we're going forward. So one foot in front of the other. We're square, boom. But we're in an area to make a tackle. Now technically we know that that's not great. We need our hips scrape. We need a back leg drive. But we're in there. And if we're in there, we can work, you know, and what we end up doing is we do make a tackle. But the difference between that is that for me, we can work with that because actually he's there. There's a shoulder engagement first. Ideally, we need to see this foot back, and that should be left foot, left shoulder. But still, we're in an area to make a tackle, and that's half of the way that we become successful in our defence. So the standing Bosch run over. Well done, Benny. Good courage here, mate. So you've come forward. Okay, arms are down. Probably want to be a little bit tighter. But we've stopped. Yeah? And yet again, it's this toilet seat position. It's that confidence to be able to win the contact. And we're sat right down on the chair, this one. So our body weight, unfortunately, is going one way, and that's backwards. So we allow, okay, the player to come forward and hit us, and that means we're only really going to go one way here. It's going to be what we would say a soak up or negative tackle because we don't make the gain line. So if we draw where that impact is, across there, that's where the tackle comes. So boom, can we drive him back? No, we go backwards, and we go backwards because we've allowed him, yeah, to close this distance quicker than we close it. So we wait, and then Bosch. Good Bosch, well done. And then spin through. It's quite hard watching this, I know. So Tommy's coming in. And we talked about this, and we talked about bigger guys coming up against guys that could step. And what are the challenges? Well, the challenges are that you go with big strides, they go with small strides. So you make a decision of where you think he's going. And yet again, look, it's our footwork. We've come forward and we're not moving our feet quick enough to close down that space. So if we were to chase our feet here and get in the way, we're going to make a tackle. What we decide to do, as quite a lot of people do, guys, is we plant our feet and we reach for our arm. So we just spin, you know, and he's straight through us there. And it's all about our feet. Okay, that was Westy's fantastic pass. It takes us about an hour to get back. Here we go. Reload. So let's look at the positives, okay? Negative-wise, okay, he's weighted. Positive, watch his foot. There's a movement forward this time. So it goes from square, okay, but we just get a foot in. So now we've got the same foot, same shoulder. Okay, where's his head looking? As hopefully we can see he's going down. But look at the impact. It's below, it's below. It's a good shot. The handoff has been ineffective. He's got a back leg to be able to push. Okay, a bit of a weak impact, but he's got hold of him. Okay, so we can hit through there, but weight to power there, he's chopped him out. So good work. Why? Because that front foot's getting closer. And that's the key, guys. We've got to work on our feet. So let's have a look. So this is an interesting one. See how we what we've done here is we're in an area to make a tackle again. So we kind of get away with just being aggressive in contact, but we're a little bit too high. But we wrestle him down. So we've got to work more, guys, on our technique here. But we've come forward well. We've really shut the time and space. And it's just unfortunate that you decide to put your left leg forward there instead of your right leg. You meet him with the right leg. That's a huge impact. And look at that. Now, there you go. For me, that is the one that we're looking for. Let's not worry about how the outcome comes. And this is where we get a bit judged. Now, Tommy might get smashed here, whatever. Let's look at what we do. We've come forward. Boom, okay? He's tried to get his front leg forward. He's got a right foot, right shoulder lead. You know, he's taken a bit of a Bosch back, but he's got that. He's in that position and he's fighting hard. We slip out, but technically, watch the impact. So, if he was to stay square-footed, he tries to get the front, he holds an impact here. So, that back leg, if it was square, he'd have just got Boshed out the way. Goes a little bit high, but he's still in there. He's still able to fight because he's in the area. His shoulders are in there and he's working hard. Fair dues to Benny, spins out, but Tommy, that's great work, mate. More of that, okay, and more aggression in there and we'll get him every time. Okay? It's just quite an interesting one for me. So he's a big lad carrying, and I think we've just got to get our confidence here regarding where we're putting ourselves. We watch our feet again. Now, this is something that we've got to always try to work on. We always want to go forward. So watch the feet. We go forward with that foot there, Marsh. And then we should move our left foot forward, but we parry out the way. Yeah? And we're in a position there where we're not going to be effective. So it's just that little bit of confidence of getting your feet in the right position and always try to go forward where best possible. So we chop in there. Sorry about my dog going crazy. And let's look at that. So, coming forward. Nala, thank you. So, coming forward there. We're getting into a position where we're trying to get our foot close. So we're looking at coming in, Westy carrying quite straight. Same again, we just planted up there. We can still go forward, but okay, not bad. The issue here is look at our back leg. Our back leg is completely straight. Okay, if that happens, we've got no power in the back leg to be able to purchase, but we got semi-close. Yeah, so he's gone down the near side, the foot's made an attempt, but we're in there. We've got a little bit of shoulder, and you do excellent tackle. Can be technically a lot better, but it's much improved, so well done. So as we see going through that, the key things for me have to be we've got to get our foot movement faster and we've got to get in the right space to be able to make the tackle. If we can do that, the success proves that if we're in an area where our shoulder can make the impact, then we end up making the tackle. If we find that we leave our feet a long way away and we reach with our hand, our success rate on our tackle comes down. So hopefully that's kind of semi-informative from tonight, just to look at things that we need to work on. Feet close, impact shoulder, and then let's make sure that we can try to avoid the handoff, chop hard and smash people. Wicked.